exercise, because we're running out of game time. Primeramente yo quiero pedir permiso de los antepasados de estas tierras para el privilegio de estar hablando en frente de ustedes hoy en día. First and foremost, I want to ask permission of the ancestors of this land to be able to speak in front of you, so things go in a good way. Nepal toka Qui'chi Patlan, Nino Mastiani, that's UCLA. I'm a student here at UCLA, Nika and Nochtan in Los Angeles. I live here as well. And so I just wanted to say, let it be clear that what we have to share with you all today in this space and time, here now and today, requires all sensibilities that in turn permit us to receive information with an open heart and an open mind. I've been asked to present a bundle to bear a message. And what is embedded in that bundle doesn't lie on that table. It doesn't lie on anyone's arms, but it lies on a world of countless hopes and aspirations and potentialities. So let it be known that what I speak of right now is not done so modestly. I've had the honor of maintaining a dialogue with Tia de la Torre for the last couple of weeks in respect to what she has and beautifully continues to try to sembrar, try to cultivate here and bring into this campus. And more importantly, the responsibility she's given to me como un chasqui, like a messenger. And that is to bring into light what we're trying to create at this university. That being a space where many, many indigenous languages and cultures can flourish. With that, I say it takes a vast amount of vigor to speak your native language in the face of global industrialization, language and racial discrimination, and the serious rate of language loss overall. And I truly believe that every language is beautiful in the sense that they are exemplifications of our human need to communicate with one another here on the Great Mother. Languages carry that potential of being utilized as itineraries to linguistic and cultural history. And to assume indigenous languages are disposable languages, dispensable languages, here in the modern world, is to endorse an ethnocentric fallacy that human beings are better suited to live in a singularity of language homogenization. And that singularity just so happens to also entail practicing the same social values. And in fact, seeing the world through unvarying model perspectives that reaffirm the importance of linearity, dichotomous thinking, consumerism and individualism. But still, when taking into account that the world's indigenous languages were brought into existence by our ancestors and in times immemorial, then what justifications do nationalistic, ethnocentric, hegemonic language policies and agents have to eradicate humankind's most beautiful expression of what it is to be human? So here today to create a space where many, many indigenous languages and peoples can flourish is to effectively answer the following question. If culture grounds our spirits, hopes, and moralities, our point of departure into life's immense ocean of opportunities, then how can we truly live with meaning if the world continues to assimilate into one civilization? Importantly, practicing and cultivating our cultures and languages like here in UCLA does not mean we should give up our advantages of the 21st century like the internet, Facebook, mass media, and higher education. The fact of the matter is that all cultures change. And however, it is today's message to note that this type of social political change should never, ever be forced upon anyone. Of course, it's as natural as the air we breathe to that. Understand in a humanistic and holistic sense one another as diverse peoples, as relatives, as neighbors, as family, entails walking in a beauty way, walking with balance, but in either health-related damages attributable to Western ways of natural resource exploitation or social political scarring. Many of us have become damaged, crippled, misled, or short-stopped on our walks of life. So today, incidentally, it's also a day to honor our great mother Mais. Remarkably enough, Nahuatl, Nahuatl peoples, Masewati, or common peoples in general from Mesoamerica, collectively share the origins of being hijos de maíz, or children of maíz. But yet, simply but strategically at the hands of policymakers, we are forced to leave our lands from which we once originated, and in turn causing the teachings and fulfillments that are embedded in our languages and our sacred topographies to become distant and foreign. However, this respatialization of Chicanos and Chicanas and brown gente in general into cities like Los Angeles, Oakland, Phoenix, or Chicago through means of inciting refugee no longer strikes a chord that ties land and identity as an axiom to indigeneity. So unfortunately, what that means is that people like me, young folks, become lost. You know, how can I, some kid from East LA, be an hijo de maíz? If all my surroundings have long been fabricated as alienable possessions for the privileged, for the settler colonialists, and the hegemonic elite. But it's my message to know Yamna, or what is now known as Los Angeles, is often hailed as the native capital here in the north of Turtle Island. So as indigenous peoples living here in Los Angeles, we are literally round walkers. Our lives call for crossing over into different societal spaces such as academic institutions, office buildings, political atmospheres, to benefit our inner circle familias. Thus, we are burdened with the truth that walking our paths cannot be achieved without interpueblo, intertribal solidarities, and to advance is to decolonize. But in proportions tantamount to decolonizing, there's a need for us to indigenize ourselves. And to understand where we come from, to understand what our ancestors' teachings are, so that we know where we're going. But still, it's important just to clarify, when I say indigenize ourselves, I say to call upon a quintessential pan-tribal, pan-indigenous teaching, which is simply be a good human being. You know, such a simple outlook and foundation it seems impractical to echo some of the words that were spoken today by De La Torre, pardon. Because, you know, thinking in that way, it seems impractical to the Western paradigm, and it's prone to disregard, but I honestly feel that that's what many of us are forgetting to do. We're not being good ancestors. And so our minds need to be in alignment with one another in a good way and in a beauty way with all our relations. This way of seeing, understanding, and walking is powerful and can deconstruct serious issues of identity, segregation, that are just snippets of the overall disgusting images that are colonialism and racism. So, what does decolonization look like at UCLA? Well, personally for me, the million-dollar question that comes to mind is, why aren't our languages taught here at UCLA? It suffices to say that UCLA zealously strives to hold itself as a world-renowned, prestigious university, and it does so. But why not make this institution the capital of indigenous languages and cultures? The fact of the matter is that we simply don't want to entertain any cop-outs, any rhetoric that might be deployed in a response to our concerns. This is a matter of addition and not subtraction. So let us collaborate, for we're all related. And as relatives, like those living under the same roof, socially and politically, we must put all our resources that are at our disposal, albeit pedagogical, economical, traditional, or spiritual, to sustain that which we call home. So we made these staffs. You know, I was just reallocating the energy. You know, I don't take credit for anything. You know, I just take credit for being alive. And so, Dia de la Torre would like to present this to a specific group of people here. And these staffs here, quite literally, are the seeds, the life of what are the indigenous languages and programs, what are the indigenous languages and cultures programs here at UCLA, at this institution. So collectively, we request those authorities that will receive these bastones to accept the responsibility, fully informed that if what we have here does not grow, it will be because you failed to cultivate life. So to accept this responsibility is to acknowledge and support the fact that indigenous peoples all over Abayala and the world over need to be at the forefront of the very disciplines and educational departments, academic focuses that bear our names and occupy our space. So what we're trying to say, con todo respeto, in a good way, with open heart, is simply a reiteration, an alignment for what our ancestors have been saying for generations. At the hands of those who hold the seeds, neglect will lead what we have at this university into aridity and lifelessness. Therefore, let us not neglect. Neglect is what's killing our great mother. Neglect is that what's destroying our relations with our great mother, Maiz. So we need to cultivate these seeds to change. Thank you.